Welcome to another episode of CHILIpulse. Today we'll be talking about the new creative as a person, as a talent. And today I'm talking with Chris Bilbao, the VP e-commerce at the Sourcing Group. So welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for
maybe a little before we dive into the new creative, a little bit of context. Who is Chris? And what is your role in the company? What does the company do? Like a quick 1-minute rundown.
Sure. So I'm the Vice President of E-commerce at the Sourcing Group. We are a national print, promo, and corporate apparel company specializing in customized branded solutions for all of those channels. Yeah. We've got headquartered in New York City and offices throughout the United States, which allows us a lot of flexibility with shipping and whatnot. And our biggest, I think the biggest advantage we have is our technology solutions and the ability to solve for our clients' most challenging initiatives with online e-commerce.
Super. And we're at the Create US event, our first event under the Create umbrella. How do you like it so far?
I think it's great. I'm excited. Actually, earlier today, I said I wish I could go try that right now. So I've learned a lot and opened my eyes to some new technology. I'm very excited to get back.
Super. And after this, there will be a few more sessions. So I'll keep it short so that you can go watch the more stuff.
Okay, great.
Well, on the topic, yesterday during your presentation, you talked about the technology, what you do, and a very important part that struck me was the people in the company, because technology enables us to do more stuff, but of course you need people to make it happen. Yes. And one of the slides that you had on the presentation was the kind of talent that you need in a company. Can you maybe elaborate a little bit on that? What type of people do you have in the company? What do they do?
Yeah, absolutely. So we pride ourselves really on our in-house technology team. We call it our tech team. And it's comprised of everything from solution specialists, solutions engineers, developers. We've got product build specialists, graphic designers, project managers, as well as template builders, which we're now calling the new creative. So having that team of assets in-house is really invaluable for us. It allows us flexibility. It allows us just immediate and full control of all the processes in every facet of a build. So it's huge for us.
You're talking about roles like the configuration builder or product builder, template builder, now new creative. Can you elaborate a little bit more on what they actually do?
Absolutely. So the new creative, which we were calling template builder, I think it's one and the same. Yeah. What we're looking for is an individual with both a creative mindset, basic graphic design knowledge, some proficiency obviously in Photoshop, InDesign, Illustrator. You want them to understand fonts and the various permutations of a font, things like that, image guidelines, adhering to brand specifications. So not necessarily what you would consider maybe a full creative that's going to just roll out a marketing program with everything, but somebody that is more of a production graphic designer, right? So they need that set of skills. And then on the other side, it's kind of a total channel change. You want somebody with a critical thinking mindset, somebody that's not so concerned with the aesthetics, but is more concerned with the details of what we are saying. Because with Chili, we're able to offer these robustly configurable products online to our customers. And in doing so, when you've got that many different options and the various drop downs and different modals to customize the product, you are opening yourself up for obviously, I don't want to say necessarily risk, but a chance of error. Yeah. So one of the ways to solve for that early on is if your template designer has an understanding of that, almost kind of like a developmental mindset. They're going to chase down every avenue. They're going to test what happens when they select this drop down and that drop down, and so on and so forth.
So they can pre-render the outputs before the customer made a choice, and maybe think about several edge cases.
Oh, exactly. Yeah, we look at it as kind of a what happens when type scenario. So in that template build process, we're asking them, as you build these, and obviously the more and more experience they get, they can almost kind of proactively see where the pitfalls may be. Yeah. But as they build them, hey, check this out. If this doesn't look right to you, doesn't make sense, don't just think that and move on. Let somebody know or kind of explore it deeper. And if and when we identify areas of weakness, let's say, or lack of clarity, then that's routed back up to project management. And we get back with the client to at least alert them, kind of educate them, and either get a solution or more information.
So it's also important to involve the customer, your clients, early stage, so that they define clearly what they want to have in the portal as configuration options.
Absolutely. So as we onboard clients, what we like to do is create a template via, we have like an interactive board that they can participate in as well. Yeah. So initially it's more of an upload of existing assets and things like that. And then sporadically down the road, they're adding more information, but it's a mechanism for them to provide hopefully everything at once. And we work with them obviously to make sure that we're kind of educating them. We get that information, and then that's kind of routed through our channel. But it is collaborative. And again, that just highlights having people in-house. I don't have to wait for somebody to email potentially another firm, and then that guy's maybe on vacation. And so, we just remove a lot of delays there.
I think it relates. Yesterday we had a conversation with somebody from Sodexo who also said that the fact that the customer and your in-house talents, that they understand each other, I think that's also very important for you. That they understand, okay, but what are you looking for? What are the configurations?
Yep.
The options?
That's where, we leverage both the template builders, the new creatives, and folks like myself as well, because I'm very active in that client, the management back and forth, liaising between the client and the tech team. So we do it all the time, and we understand the questions to ask and how to kind of derive information out of what the client can provide. But yes, it's definitely collaborative, 100%.
When you're looking for new creatives, template builders, you mentioned critical thinking, and of course I would say the hard skills, maybe Photoshop experience. But I can imagine it's not always, you don't always find the right match.
Right.
Do you also train people or coach them on the go, or how do you grow people into that job?
That's actually a great question. So two different things. Well, actually, another thing we look for, and I think this kind of goes hand in hand with the graphic skills and the critical thinking, but it's just a meticulous attention to detail. That person has to understand the importance of every iteration. Yeah. That being said, from a training perspective, we have our own like internal basic training, but then we leverage Chili's training programs. Everybody that's with us now has gone through the Chili training and they found it very helpful, and it helps them. And then as we kind of move forward, you guys are able to support us with specific questions and things of that nature. So the training for Chili specifically is very important, and there's just kind of continuing education.
I'll pass the word to my colleague who's recently been put in charge of the training, so he'll be happy to hear that.
Good. I'm glad. Yeah. Yep, very good.
When you say, well, we talked about critical thinking, are there things that like in an interview that you notice, or how can you see that with people? I think that's a good one. That's a good person to be in that job.
Yeah, I think in maybe not the initial interview, but in subsequent interviews, if we've identified somebody with the skill sets and it was a good first pass, then we may present them with certain scenarios to say, hey, this is, take a look at this scenario. Where do you, and we don't necessarily try to put a bunch of pitfalls there, but we put some things that may be called out, and say, where do you see a potential, put yourself in the end user's shoes, right? Yeah. So here is a menu, and here's what, at the end of the day, you're going to come out of this with a card or whatever it may be. Where do you see opportunities for the client to slip up and make a mistake? And if they detect those, then you say, okay, this is the right guy. Yeah. That combined with that type of proactive attitude. I mean, attitude really ultimately is huge.
Yeah, indeed.
They've got to have right attitude.
I heard it's hire attitudes and train skills.
Yes.
Because attitude is very hard to train.
Right. I'd rather get somebody with a fantastic attitude and then, okay, you've got the toolkit, but we need to work on that a little bit. But the attitude.
People with the right attitude can get trained to get there.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Any other areas where you look at people and say, look, these are skills that we're looking for? Talked about the hard skills, the tools, the attitudes.
I think as we, and really in the recent conference, as we kind of look to the next steps of what we can try to extrapolate out of Chili for the future, I would look for folks that kind of have a forward-looking mentality to not. You don't want somebody that just says, "Okay, this is what I do, and that's all I do." I'd love for somebody to have that creativity to look at the tool and go, "Hey, have you guys ever thought of doing this?" I was doing these templates the other day, and I noticed there's this client over here had, so sometimes organically they may come to us with an opportunity that we weren't aware of, and we could say, you know what, that's a great idea. Let's call that client, So using maybe like parsing certain solutions across other clients, things like that, detecting that.
So basically they need to reinvent themselves, automate their job to be improved, to get better and better.
Yeah, to some extent. I mean, we always want to improve. And that's, as we all know, in this marketplace, you cannot stop improving. So that's a company-wide initiative. Continually.
That's true. That's also the reason why we did the thing with Graphic Studio is we just restarted the development of the product 2 years ago, and you have to reinvent yourself continuously.
Yep, it never ends. Yeah. So.
All right. Well, any other final thoughts on people in the company, the importance of?
Well, I mean, overall, communication is key between the different stakeholders, whether it's a product builder to a template builder, the project manager. All of these folks have to kind of amalgamate and be a cohesive team. That's huge for us. And ultimately, that means we need to retain our employees. We don't want a lot of turnover. We don't want to in and out. So we seek to hire the right person the first time and then partner with them. We want to train them. As you said, if maybe if there's a few areas that need help, we're there to provide it and just kind of grow. And it really pays dividends to have that.
Super.
So that's it.
Well, thank you for the great insights on how you look at the new creative. And I hope that's also very interesting for our audience. So
absolutely.
Thank you, people, for listening and joining in. Thank you, Chris, for being our guest here. And enjoy the rest of the conference.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you so much, Bram.
Thank you so much. And see you the next time. Bye-bye.
Bye now.
If you liked this episode and you want to get engaged or you have tips for improvements or changes, please let us know at pulse@chilipublish.com. Also, if you want to be informed of next episodes, please subscribe to the newsletter on the form below.